Morning, boys. Welcome to another video. So in today's, it's going to be, there's not really a script to it, but I know exactly what I want to talk about, and that is this idea or notion, in fact, of getting better by 1% every day. So it's like an old Japanese philosophy called Kaizen. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If you're a Japanese person and I've just butchered that, then sucks to suck. So essentially, it's the idea of progressively getting better every day by a little bit. So no matter what it is, we can apply this in a lot of different areas, and I'm gonna talk in depth on how I think we can apply this idea so we can improve our lives. But just the bare bones of it is getting 1% better every day and gradually improving, right? So that's in an ideal world what we would want. We would want to improve every day by around 1%, and so that across a large scale of time, if we've progressively been doing this, we're going to end up from here to here, right? So you start off at whatever starting point. Again, we can apply this to a lot of different life areas, but you start off, let's say, in regards to your physical fitness, no cardio, no strength, no endurance, no like a shit physique, you're fat, you're skinny fat, you start off here and you end up in a few years after progressively getting 1% better every day, you're going to end up ripped, perfect body, you're going to look how you want to look, do you know what I mean? Maybe not perfect body, but you know what I'm saying. Like, once you get to a certain point, you're going to be very proud in how you appear, and you can only build on that as well. So, how should we apply this idea then? Because I really like this idea of getting 1% better every day. I think it's something that, so long as you've done beneficial things like you've ate well, you've trained, you've read, you've uploaded a YouTube video, you've gone to your job and you've earned the money that then supports your lifestyle, all this and that. So long as you've gotten 1% better that day can go down as a win. Because it's on those days that you depreciate, it's on those days that you slack off, you procrastinate, you waste time. It's on those days that you don't do the thing that you're setting yourself on the back foot, that you're reducing your, not necessarily your output as such, although you are not having it as much of an output, but you're just limiting yourself, you're boxing yourself in. The days you don't do the right things, the days you don't do what you know you need to do, so be it going to the gym, eating clean, whatever your goals are, working on your business, or studying hard for uni or college or even school, depending on what age you are. If you aren't doing the things you should be doing, you may not be getting 1% worse, or if you go out and you get absolutely pissed, or if you eat a bunch of shit food, you probably are getting 1% worse, because then you've got to get 2% better tomorrow. And how are you going to get 2% better tomorrow? Because you've already put yourself on the back foot now, if the next day you feel like shit. If I ever eat anything that's like, junk food, fast food, anything like that, right, I feel like shit. Like, I notice, like, my brain's not as sharp, my body doesn't feel good, like, maybe I get, like, stomach aches, maybe my skin gets bad. I can tell when I've not eaten correctly. Like, okay, my skin isn't great, like, I've still got spots, but recently I've not had that much dairy. I had a little bit of cheese yesterday, I had a little bit of butter yesterday, as with the day before, but I've not been having milk, right? For a few days I've not had any milk, and I really want milk, I love milk, it tastes so good, in a coffee, I hate black coffees, but it doesn't really agree with my skin. So every day that I don't have milk, my skin, which is an area I want to improve in, I get 1% better. Maybe I lose a couple spots. So in a month of not having dairy, or at least a month of reduced dairy, because, sometimes I don't have any beef fat in the house, I've got to cook in butter, or, I can cope and I can say, oh, I need to cook in butter, but like, let's say in a realistic world, I just stop being a little bitch, and I have no dairy at all for a month, my skin gets 1% better every day. By the end of the month, how am I going to look? We're going to find out, because I don't want my spots anymore. They piss me off. It's an area that I want to improve in. Same as my physique, right? Every day that I'm eating clean and or training or just being physically active. So I do take rest days. On those rest days, I'll either walk or, normally it's gardening, weather permitting. And that's active recovery in my books. And some days it can be fucking hard work. If you're wheelbarrowing or shoveling, that is brutal stuff. So my allotment's getting 1% better every time I'm down there. My physique's getting 1% better every day. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, my diet gets 1% better. Not only do I eat clean, but I then research on, how much of this should I have? How much of this should I have? Should I avoid this? Should I have this? How much of this do I need? it's all getting 1% better, right? And you're going to feel so good about yourself when you can just look back on enough 1% betters and go, okay, I can actually see a difference here. You know, once you've done the groundwork, once you've put in the effort, and you've consistently gotten 1% better, eventually you'll look back and you'll see a difference. And that's empowering as well. If you don't look at, positive change and that doesn't get you motivated, I don't know how to help you. Because I know personally that when I see my physique getting better, my strength going up, my mood being improved, when I see all of these metrics that I care about getting better, how is that not going to push me to get even better? You understand? So, in regards to this 1% better concept then, how should we apply this? So, let's just look at so I don't know what you've done today, right? But let's just go for, so I'll brand it towards, should I brand it towards an absolute beginner, or should I brand it towards, you know what, no, I'm going to brand it towards today's Taylor, right? So today's me, okay? We woke up pretty late, right? So that's already, we're on the back foot. I'm a firm believer that if you get up at a decent time and you do a lot of things through the morning, you've won that day. So right now, I'm on the back foot playing catch-up because it's already nearly noon and I've not done a great deal. I've made my room presentable so that it's a nice place to work and live in, and that's genuinely it, right? I've done 5 minutes of grounding, I've done 5 minutes of meditation, and I've sat in the sun, okay? That's it. I've put a bit of music on, which, depending who you listen to, that's, there's swings and roundabouts to that. I quite enjoy music, so, when I'm tidying, I'm not really... Tidying is quite shallow work, and so when you're doing it, it's... I just sound like a Jeffrey, but it's like, oh, it's nice to just have music on. Maybe I shouldn't have the music on, but it does help me tidy. Anyway, so in regards to my day, right? So, as I've just told you, woke up a little bit late, done my tidying, my room's really presentable, which I like to record in a tidy room, I like to live in a tidy room, when it's tidy, I like to do everything, because then I'm not thinking about, oh, I need to just make my bed. I take away the distractions of tidying my room when it's tidy, right? Ideally, we would do it in the evening, but I'm not going to work well in an untidy room. And last night I got home late from work and I didn't want to tidy my room when I got home. I just wanted to go to bed. So, my 1% better today is eating clean, eating in a surplus, reducing my dairy consumption, cold exposure, training hard, fixing the greenhouse and weeding the potato bed, stretching / flexibility and mobility work. I've done my mindfulness for today. I'm uploading on YouTube. And I can read. So a combination of all of those habits that I do, in any particular order, as long as they get done, I don't think there's a problem with that. Like if I read in the evening, it's not really much better than reading in the day. It's just, getting the things done. And obviously having the brain capacity and the alertness to take on the new information, right? Doing those habits is going to make me 1% better today. And so tomorrow, what did I hear yesterday? It was like, yesterday's pain is tomorrow's gain, or today's pain is tomorrow's gain, something like that, right? So what you get, the difficulties of the day, at present moment, are then you're going to reap the rewards in the future, pretty much, right? So that's how I'll get 1% better. And this is just, present day Taylor. If you're an absolute, beginner level fucking Jeffrey, right? You're going to be looking at it like, oh, okay, I eat like shit, I don't train. You know what I mean? You're going to have a lot of things that you could be doing. And so if that's you and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, well, I don't really do a lot of, beneficial, positive habits to get 1% better, just look at what you could do, right? So 1% better is 1% better, right? So if you look at your shit diet and you go, okay, I don't really eat many fruits or vegetables, I'll eat more fruit, I'll eat more grass-fed meat. There's your 1% right there. Just that one change, there's your 1%. And now tomorrow, go buy yourself a book and read 15 pages, 20 pages, 3 chapters, right? Oh, now there's another 1%. So now you've already started working on your diet, and then day 2, you've already got a book about... negotiation, right? So we're already 2% better, boys. And you've only made 2 changes, and now you're 2% better. Excellent. Day 3, buy a gym membership and go to the gym and train really hard. Day 4, do some recovery work because you ache from day 3. Now we're 4% better than day one. Do you understand? Like, implementing these small little changes and then compounding it is absolutely the way forward. Now, I do just want to say this, okay? Being a bitch about it isn't going to help you. So if you know you're doing a lot of things wrong and just doing one thing at a time, you're going to have to wait to catch up, right? So let's say you're, as I say, in this example, you're just an absolute loser. You don't really do anything productive, right? You waste all your time. You're unproductive. You're lazy. Maybe you're even unemployed, right? You don't do anything to better your situation at all. So if that's where you're starting, which I don't imagine anyone who's watching a 10-minute unfiltered video is, to be honest. Yeah, do you know what? I can't even see there being anyone watching this who that applies to them. So do you know what? I'm not even going to speak on that kind of person. The chances are that if you're watching this, you're already implementing a lot of the things I've just discussed, and there's probably only a few that you're already lacking on. So the ones you're lacking on, or at least the ones you've already got, find out how you can improve in those areas, be it your physique, your fitness, your health, you know, your mental health, your financial situation, how smart you are, all of that jazz, okay? I can't see anyone who's an absolute Jeffrey watching a video like this all the way through. Perhaps you are, and if you are, then sucks to suck, honestly. Just, you know, follow the advice and you should get somewhere. But I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all, by the way. Like, I don't want to seem like I've fucking completed life. Like, I certainly haven't. It's just that this is something that works for me. This is something that I do, right? I aim to try and get better in multiple areas every day. And it works. Like, you get the satisfaction of knowing you've done the thing. So that's, you know, a positive feedback loop. And on top of that, you're going to reap the benefits. If you weight train, you know, 4 or 5 times a week, you eat clean every day, after a few months, you will look better. You will be stronger. You will feel healthier. You know what I mean? All of these benefits you're getting from getting that 1%. So I think I've discussed enough on this topic, to be honest. I feel like if I said anything more, I would just be repeating myself, and that would be a waste of everyone's time. So I'll end the video here. I appreciate you boys watching this. Thanks a lot. I'm going to go round to the butcher's, get some grass-fed meat. Me and my friend are going to go cold plunge and then train. To be honest, before we train and cold plunge, I reckon I'm going to have a coffee, and I'm going to have that pomegranate over there and some honey. Just so I've got some simple sugars in my body, raise my glucose in my blood so that I've got energy ready to spend on training. I'm starting a new training regime. It is literally just going to be strength-based. I'll do some accessory work, like some neck stuff, which is going to be slightly higher reps so I can get the hypertrophy. I hate that word. Muscle growth. I'm mainly training for strength currently, and then I'm going to apply that to more functional fitness later on. So I'll have my honey, have my pomegranate, and then it'll be a case of cold plunge at the lake, which I'll probably make like a short out of that because, you know, it could be cool. And following that, I will go to the gym, train hard, come home, steaks, and then it will be the allotment stuff. And then my friend will probably go after the allotment, and so it will just be me left to do, you know, the last of my improvement habits, such as the reading and I might actually read out the lake, depending on if whether I'm waiting for him. I don't imagine I will be, but he hasn't called me to say he's left yet. So I'll see, you know, whether if he's not there when I get there, then I'll just read, so I can get that one at least partly ticked off. I'll have to read quite a bit today because so I know it looks like a lot, and honestly, part of me isn't sure whether it's going to be manageable, but I want to give it a good crack. So this book here, this is one of the books I want to read, right? So Laws of Human Nature, okay, by Robert Greene. He wrote the 48 Laws of Power. That's a fuck off book. I think it's 580 pages. And I also want to read through a lot of these ones here. So I've read these ones. I haven't finished these ones. I've got Deep Work there. I've got Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. That's fiction. I've got Lord of the Flies. That's fiction. I've already read that once in school, but I want to read it again. Unscripted by M.J. DeMarco. Fabulous book. I'm only halfway through it still. I actually spoke about this book a few months ago, but I never got back to reading it, so I'd like to read that one again. The Forager's Calendar. It's just about foraging. 1984, I've started this. Great book. I've already read part of it in the past. And I've got Never Split the Difference, which is a book on negotiations. I want to get through a lot of them by the end of the year. Especially the non-fiction. The fiction I can sort of put on the back foot because, yeah, it's good for your vocabulary, but it's not really good for learning. Unless you want to learn about your vocabulary, in which case I'm not really too fussed about that because, again, not to be big-headed or anything, but I feel as though I have got an array of vocabulary, to put it simply. So, yeah, that's my day, boys. That's my getting 1% better. And now that you've heard it from me, just look at your own day, because you're different to me. You do different things. You have different ambitions. You have different goals, and you are in a different situation. Maybe you've already completed having a good physique and having a good diet and all that shit. So now you've got to look at how can you make more money? How can you support your family? How can you do all of the things you want to do, right? So look at your own life and then decide, okay, where's my 1% going to be today? And build on that, compound it. Few months, few years, how can you lose? So appreciate you boys watching this. It means a lot. If you've enjoyed this video, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more of me. It'll help both of us out. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.